Watch how the iPhone can't do it. Before it knew that I was gonna do that. This is gonna make me sound weird, but I don't care. But the iPhone, when I first got here and went straight to the phone and went to the moon. Before I pushed the button, I zoomed in on the moon, and it did a good job of zooming in on the moon. And then I go to push the button and it went unfocused, so then I had to unzoom it and zoom it back in, and it would never focus like I thought it should, or like it originally did. Isn't that interesting? There's no proof, so maybe you could think I was mistaken. The moon is pretty neat and fun, though. I guess it's the time of the year where it's beginning its smaller or larger circle. We could figure it out if we wanted to. I think it's smaller. I'm not sure. Could be larger. I don't. Yesterday I made an attempt, but it just wasn't feeling like a good thing, so I didn't upload a video. Plus the tide was way in. I think it's coming in right now, even though it looks like there's a line right there, like it's on its way out, but I don't think it is. I think it's on its way in. Because usually when I get here a little bit later, because I'm here earlier than normal, because I need to go clean the fryer at work. Went to Arctic Valley yesterday. If you're listening, Paul, that's where I was, Arctic Valley. I didn't really do a lot of talking because, I don't know, it just seems like saying the same thing over and over and over again. And I mean, even the people that agree with me, it's gotta be boring for you. So, I don't know, is there new stuff? There's kind of like new stuff every day, you know, not like handed to you by the newspapers or the media outlets, but like, you know, stuff that you see every day. Kind of weird. I think people have like this track record of being shady, so I think a lot of times, like, I'll jump to the conclusion like people are trying to be shady when they might just be raised that way. That's the way they were raised, and they're not trying to be shady, they're just trying to be regular people. But regular people nowadays use everybody else. Come on, Guru, hurry up. Uh-oh. We can't make it this way, can we? I don't really like jumping on the rocks here. The dog is like, we're going. I don't think so. Whoa. Come on. Just got the back of my legs all splashed. That's okay. J-E. Oh, they were gonna write Jesus. Not Jesus. God. God won. God won. Not God 2, but God 1. I'm God number 1. Come on. Dog 2. Come on, dog 1. Dog 1. God 1. Look, they'd be covering up this person's writing. I'd be pissed. Nukshinsut is the name, the Indian name of this point. You can look that up. It's on the internet, interweb. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down. For some reason, this always makes me think of SpongeBob. I don't know why. I guess it's the way the trees fall over themselves. They kind of look like a deserted island. Oh, who was it? A pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know any part of the song, but that SpongeBob SquarePants. Ahoy, me matey. You be a landlubber. Near the beach. Mr. Nice Guy. Where are you from, Mr. Nice Guy? Jamaica. I be from Jamaica, Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. Near the beach. If I wasn't from Jamaica, then why would I wear a hat like this? Half-Baked. It's a funny ass movie. Their scientists clean this shit up. Mop this shit up. That's what he said, I think. Of this clipboard. When the water goes over your feet and then it recedes, you can feel all the sand coming out from underneath your feet. It's weird. It's getting cold. I'd say it's low 40s right now. Winter's gonna come. Everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, summer's over already. It's been such a weird. It hasn't been bad. It's just weird. I think. This is what I think, and I have no proof for this. This is just the way it feels, okay? No real scientific. This is an observation, and everybody gets so mad about observations, but this is what this is this summer seems like it was gonna be really fucking hot. I mean, really fucking hot. But we've had weather lately that it seems like isn't like it has been the last little bit. You know, it's different than it has been the last, we'll say, 5 to 10 years. You know, it's been hot. It's been hot. People might say, oh no, it hasn't been hot, but it's been hot. We've been getting really crappy snow, and I think one thing that really kind of shows that, and living here in Alaska is something that I grew up loving, so I pay close attention to when the snow comes. I'm not good about months and stuff like that. I don't care about time. So I'm not good about what day and what month it snows. But I do remember things vividly, especially when they have markers. So like Halloween comes on a certain time. Thanksgiving, you know, all these things. These are milestone points that are pretty hard to not be aware of. And by Halloween, all of my life, I grew up here, was born and raised here. There was this time when I lived in Washington, but it really kind of, it comes in an easy time frame, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, with what I'm saying, because I'm talking about the old days. And we had, granted I was shorter, so let's say we had around 8 to 12 inches of snow every time Halloween came. So October 31st, there's always snow. Always. There was always snow. Now, we don't get snow typically until after Thanksgiving. And it seems like up until a certain point, I think gradually it's been getting warmer, because in the beginning, we started having this trend where we'd get snow late into spring, like April. We're getting snow, and maybe I don't know. Like I said, I don't care about the time all that much. Enough, we'll say enough. But then, you know, we get snow all the way till then, so it seemed like summer would be pushed back. And because it started so late, because you know, it went so late the last year, it makes summer start late. And anyways, it was making it seem like the seasons were changing the time that they came. And now I think we've caught up to, like, it's getting too hot, and it's going, there's like a sweet spot for snow. And I think it's made it to the point where it's so late that the sun is going to be there before the end of the winter, or after the end of the winter. What am I saying? Before the end of the winter. So it's going to melt the snow eventually. We're going to have a shorter winter because it's going to overcome the fact that, hey, the snow's still here. But the sun is going to overpower it. And I think it probably would have been more obvious. But I feel like there's been more aggressive than in the past. I haven't even ever really been worried about this, so I never thought about it. And looking back, it's kind of hard to find the pattern. But anyways, they're blocking out the sun, and I think they have to do it in the summertime now, and it's probably because it's too hot. Maybe it gets closer. Maybe, I don't know. Everything would just be a guess, and I mean, most people aren't really very good at hearing imaginary guesses and things because they think I'm going to be making a claim or something, but it's not really a claim. It's maybe we should look and see if this is going to be a thing that we should prepare for. I don't know. I'm not saying prevent. I don't think you can prevent. Kind of leads me into everything. I was talking with my mom and there's so much leading going on, like you're told this and that by authority figures. And I left a comment today about professional work. Somebody was asking a question about journeyman and how many obscene hours it takes for them to do this and that and become certified. And I was leaving my comment because I don't know how it is now. I don't need to know how it is now. But 10 years ago, I say we because it was people helping, and I wasn't it was like a committee. It was my mom, myself, and my aunt, and we would also get other people too. But those are the main characters, and we basically, our objective was to redo, refurbish, repair, I don't know. My mom, the trailer that my mom got for her place to live. Long story short, we did everything, and we did it all ourselves, and it's all legal. You can have a permit or an inspector come, and which you have to have an inspector come. Even if you're a builder, you have to have an inspector come, and all of the stuff just has to be done to code. It doesn't have to be done by a professional this or a professional that. You know? When you're doing it for yourself, when it becomes a thing where people have to be insured, the people that are requiring that you go to school are the insurance companies. It's not the government. The government just has rules for the way that it has to be done. It's not like, you have to have your heart removed by a heart surgeon. You can have your heart removed by anybody, but you have to follow the procedures that are established for removing the heart. And if you were doing it for money, you couldn't, because they don't want people. It's a big racket, and so it would take so long to explain. I hope people just understand. I don't know, maybe if somebody doesn't understand, I can try harder, but I think y'all understand. This is the way. I'm 50, and this is the way it was. Not so much for me. For me, all this stuff was ending, but for the generation, the like my parents, people around their age, maybe older, maybe a little bit younger. Get that wood. Oh wow, you're so mean. What are you gonna eat your leash? Anyways, you showed up to work. Stop! You showed up to work. They put you to work, usually with the low man stuff, like you were an apprentice or even just a helper. And the people that intellectually were capable of doing the jobs, not even actually always 100% capable of doing the jobs intellectually. But if you were able to be taught a procedure, then you could do this job. So, like, there's master electricians that know everything about electricity that couldn't and didn't go to college. They didn't go to college. They didn't go to trade school. They didn't do any of that. They went to work, and they became this and that, and the codes changed along the way. And then as it got stricter and stricter for the codes changing, those people were just grandfathered in. You can't make them go back and go to school. Well, you could, but you would lose all these skilled tradespeople. And so they didn't want to do that, and they have checks and balances to make sure if they do want to become certified. And it made it so that, like, gradually you had to have certified employees, because the insurance companies, like I said before, wouldn't cover it. I mean, sure, the guy's good. He's probably the best there is, but there's no proof. You don't have any documentation, so it's a risk, and insurance company deals in risks. How much of a risk is it that this guy's going to do it wrong, or that he's not professional? He's not going to conform to these bullshit rules for bureaucracy reasons, but his only following of rules is for safety reasons. So anyways, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Not so much the construction industry, because like I said, by the time I got old enough to be doing stuff like this, everybody has to have a certification, and I don't have any certification. I probably have just as much experience as the next guy that has certification, but I don't have it because I never went through the stuff. I just did it. And granted, it's probably not as much experience in plumbing as somebody that has to go get their certification, because they have to do it so much. But I can get the same job done. It might just take me two tries to do it, or I might have to think about it a little bit longer than somebody else that does it all the time. But that's only because they've already thought about it. For the last 50 jobs, they've already seen the problem that I'm seeing for the first time. So really, it's not like I have to look at it any longer than them either. We're just talking real time. It appears that I'm looking at it longer than them. I could be looking at it shorter than them. And typically, if you think about it, because of the law of averages, I am thinking about it shorter than them. So I don't know. You be the judge. Major things with the car. I've fixed major things. I've fucked up major things too. In the beginning, before I had people that would help me with in-depth help instead of just trying to lead me in different ways, but in-depth help, like teaching me why this is this and what you have to do and what it does, not just put a new one of these in, but explain to me what that thing is, where it makes me feel like I could actually build that thing. And you can. There's just a set of parameters. I'm gonna use the what's it called? There's an abbreviation, and it's always it's the fuel cutoff switch. It's a relay switch. I'm talking about Toyotas, and other cars might have something similar, but it's a relay that tells it that the engine's running, and it allows the fuel pump to come on. It's a complicated thing, and anyways, the relay switch for it, which is just, power comes and opens up a switch. It's like an automatic switch is all it is. A relay race, it hands this to that. You're running and you hand the relay race, you hand the baton to the next guy. That's a relay. And anyways, this thing is like $150, but you go on eBay or Amazon, even if you just go to the auto parts store. The auto parts store is gonna be more expensive, but what you're doing at the auto parts store is you're paying for the guy to go around and help other people. You're paying for the bathroom that they say is broken, but the employees need to use. You're paying for the holding, everything that sits on a shelf. The longer it sits on a shelf, the more money it costs the person to hold it on the shelf, because they have to do more things. They have to dust it. They have to hold on to it. It's taking the spot of someplace that something could be sold, a revolving thing. If it sits there, it's not being sold. Anyways, that's why it costs more. And so take the middleman out and things usually cost less. But anyways, you can get a relay because it's not specifically a Toyota relay for this specific job. You can get a regular relay and just make sure that it's wired the same way, same parameters, and those things cost $6. They should cost like $1. I mean, it's basically just some metal. You can make your own. Make your own relay, but that'd be a good video for YouTube. Any of these science people that want to actually help somebody instead of just describing what a relay is, why don't you make some? Because they don't want the liability. Some guy does it wrong, that's on him, but he doesn't want it to be on him. So I did it like they were told. I went to school and all this stuff. You can see how all these things are just because we want to make a professional, and we want the professional to hold all the responsibility. So they have to go to school to prove that they can handle the responsibility, and then we have people to say, okay, well, they went to school and we trust what this person says, so they're gonna do this. It's just a way of knowing how the person's gonna perform and holding them to that, because everybody wants to go the least amount. so they can make the most profit from their effort. Least amount of effort, most amount of profit. Because it's all done for profit. It's not done for the goodness of getting the job done right. If you're gonna build your house and your family's gonna live in your house, you're not gonna make it so that your family dies in the nighttime while they're sleeping. You're not gonna do that. And you're gonna wanna know about the things that you could do to prevent that from happening. If you're smart. And if you're smart, you're gonna wanna do it yourself. Because this guy over here doesn't really care. It sounds sick, and you might be like, how could they not care if they did something that caused somebody to die? Your negligence caused a whole family to die. They do it for money. And just having the rule creates these fucking sickos that know that we rely on the rule so we don't look as hard. Because the rule is for after the fact. Oh yeah, well, this guy wasn't doing it right. We have to put him in jail now. Yeah, but those people are still dead. And then that guy knows that he's doing it wrong. He's doing it wrong on purpose so that he can make more money. So he's trying to hide the fact that he's doing it wrong, which in turn harms more people. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy that people would be like that. A Satan ghost. Some weird people spray painting shit. It's that moon still. I think it gets smaller. The path that the moon takes. If you think about it, that's why things would take different amounts of time, you know? Oh, the moon's here at a different time because it's on a different path. I saw this thing about buoys. You know what a buoy is? They go in the ocean or the water. They got these big buoys and they anchor them to the ground under to the seafloor, and then the water goes up and down, and it makes a thing from the rope. You know, when the buoy goes up, it has the rope connected to the ground, and the rope gets pulled inside the buoy, and it moves a mechanical device which turns the gears, which is like what I was talking about, where you drive your car onto the thing and it spins the gears like a grandfather clock, and then you drive your car off of it in the morning when you go to work, or you just move your car to go do something. And then the gears are powered by a spring, which is compressed by the weight of your car. It's just a mathematical formula for the weight to overcome the restriction of the gears. Come on. Yeah, so then they got the buoy out there making power. Pretty crazy. And I was thinking, what about the tires? And if you had the string long enough, because the tires, the buoy would move around. But come on, it would always be at the end of its rope, you know? There would always be tension on it. Or just a retractor that wasn't as that was just strong enough to retract the slack but not restrict the movement of the motor of the gear pack. Anyways, it's already done. I don't have to figure it out. But they could be doing that. Seems like it's at least less of an eyesore. What if we had buildings above the water, and then underneath the buildings they had the buoys? And what if you just made your own thing, your own pit for the buoys to go into, and then you could control it with valves? You wouldn't even really need to if it was connected to the ocean, like those baths that they have. I think they're in California, the natural sea baths, and they're all dilapidated now, and they might not even have been baths, but they were used as baths. But the water would come in to your flooded basement, if that's the way you think about it, and the basement would always have a reservoir of water in there, so the buoys would always be floating. And the thing that works about them is the buoyancy and the density difference in them and the air that they hold inside them and the water that they float in. And so all that, I mean, it's really fucking easy. So all this stuff, everybody's all saying, oh, we need a renewable energy. Come on. Go, come on. Hurry up. Hurry up. driving through the bushes here. Car's got lines down the side. Oh, swell. Look at this. Goes down, up. Oh boy, that's a good log. Have a good day, you guys.